Before we get into the video, I'd like to give a shout out to MVD Entertainment Group for providing us a review copy for the sake of the video. Much love to you guys. Like I say all the time, man, show me some love and I show you some love right back. Welcome to the episode Time Spurt Kung Fu. I am your host, Frankie Barbour, aka the Shogun Supreme.
I'm Peter Glugowski, and today we're going to be taking a look at 88 Films' new release of Taxi Hunter.
So this 1993 Herman Yao film, Taxi Hunter with Anthony Wong. Wow. It's not what man, work has been tough. It's not a film that I look at that. I'm still struggling with these words, and Peter knows what I mean. It's not what I expected. I mean, what do you think, Peter?
It's really hard to put into words how we even feel about the film. It's a strange, like, mashup of different tones and styles almost.
Right. The film right away, it's very, like, I don't say bleak. It's just a very brutally honest, prickish world. Like, everybody's a prick.
Yeah, even the dang kid. There's one scene where a kid is like holding a Dragon Ball card hostage and another kid's crying. And Anthony Wong goes to buy it and the kid's like, $100. Like, why are you a jackass too?
Like, that's to give you guys a general sense. Like, this is a very prickish, freaking world, man. But the way the film starts, like, I'm thinking, okay, this is what we're going with. What was the only scene that looked like this? In this film, there was a scene like that in the end, where you have Yu Wong, the Iron Monkey himself, and he's a cop, and he plays Anthony Wong's, that's his brother in this film, right?
Brother or friend, we're not exactly clear.
We're not sure, yeah, we're not exactly clear, but let's say, because he calls him brother in the film. And he's a cop there in a stakeout with your boy, Montauk,
yeah,
which we're going to speak about later. And it's a jewelry heist, just like a moment of romance.
Yeah, strangely enough.
Strangely enough. And you get a car chase right after that, which very Jackie Chan reminiscent. Like, you see the Iron Monkey himself, you on top of the car, whipping and everything. I was like, damn, this is Hensley just swinging everywhere. I think he's about to get yanked of the car. But, after that, we get to see, Montauk, and he has this crazy 1990s American hip-hop look. He's like almost cartoonish.
He was wearing a Chicago Bulls jersey when he started, and then he switched over to a Celtics one later. I was like, what the?
Like, nah, but he was very much needed in the film as we talk about more about this movie. And while that scene ends, we get introduced to Anthony Wong's character, who plays King, and he's an insurance salesman, right?
Yes, he sells insurance, and I guess that was like a big thing in the 90s, like salarymen.
Right, and right off the bat, when he's introduced, he's a very timid, reserved, think about like a nerdy guy. Like, like he looks like you could pick on him easy. You know what? Like we say in the East Coast, he looks like a herb. Like, he could be easily picked on, and even by his co-workers, he's being treated like nothing. Like, hey.
Yeah, his boss offers him or promises him a promotion, and then it just never happens.
Right, like it just never happens. So while you get to see how he is as a character in the film, we get introduced to the villains. The villains of the MCU cannot handle these guys. And
they're like the Ultron of taxi drivers.
Yeah. These taxi drivers in this movie are scum. They're scumbags. And they do a good job of portraying scenarios to show these guys are scumbags. And we're going to get to that, later on. But Anthony Wong has a pregnant wife, sweet woman and everything. And you see the first attempt, I think it was shopping. They were shopping, right?
Yeah, he came home a little late after getting in a car accident, and he was giving her some gifts from whatever store. Yeah. I don't remember.
Right, but yeah, that's right. Because I was thinking about when they were together, when they walked held the first cab together.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had interaction with the cab driver. He's like, damn, I'm not going there. But right there, we get to see like, okay, these guys, it stays consistent. All the cab drivers he encounters are pricks. Because before that scene, that's when we go about the shakedown.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, you explained this better than me because I was like, that's crazy.
So Anthony Wong's driving home to his wife, and then the cab driver just cuts him off, like barely inches away, and stops dead. So Anthony Wong rear ends him, and then the cab driver gets out and basically shakes him down. And he's like, "Oh, you gotta give me $5,000." And he's like, $5,000 for a little bump? So the dude gets on the CB radio and calls some of his homies in, and then there's 3 cab drivers shaking him down, just right in the middle of Hong Kong.
Yeah, my man pulled it like, it's funny, he put insurance fraud on an insurance guy. You know?
And so Anthony Wong's like, all right, fine, here's my money, you know. This is ridiculous.
Right, it's ridiculous, and, you know, but not to go too deep, but eventually his wife gets in an unfortunate accident and she dies. And that scene, if you see Hong Kong death scenes, the way they do it, yeah, this one is up there.
Yeah, you'll know.
Then you know. And from there, you know, him being mistreated at work, or just the world in general, like, they may see Hong Kong like, I don't want to go there. They were just a prick. And this happening in the hands of a cab driver, the death of his wife, this way he goes on his journey, like, it doesn't start right away because he just had enough while he was having lunch in the stoops, right?
Yes.
He was having lunch in the stoop, and you see a cab driver mistreating a lady, and he just snaps. And
it doesn't kill him.
I'm thinking
it doesn't kill him there, but yeah, he like freaking pushes the dude, and he's like, "You gonna scam this woman?"
And I like the way they did this because he looked semi-afraid when he went for the smack. He was like, "Oh, damn, I smacked him." Crowd was cheering like, "Yeah, I want to get in there." But after that, he takes a cab. He was drinking and he gets busy. Now, this is what surprised us. Oh, more or less, it didn't meet our expectations. And that is how the violence is portrayed in this film. Now, the violence. Now, I'm gonna get this out of the way. You know what I'm gonna say. This is not a Category 3 film. Regardless of what 88 says in a damn website. Even this guy says it on this too, right, Peter?
Yeah, Frank Chang does a audio commentary on this disc, and he said, contrary to popular belief, this is not a Category 3 film.
Right. Yeah, even Frank then on their own disc says this is not a Category 3 in the commentary, right? But doesn't mean the violence are bad. It was very different because it fits Anthony Wong's character. As a person, he looked like he never fought he never got into a fight ever in his life, and it's very sloppy in this film. Like, I mean, some brutal stuff, especially his first kill, which is wild and it's funny at the same time. But it did something pretty cool, and me and Peter found that to be interesting. It was on his fellow attempt.
Yeah, so I mean, he's successful on the first attempt just by pure luck. But when he tries to do it on the second attempt, he repeats all the steps, and the cab driver like doesn't have the window rolled up and manages to cut the seatbelt and get out. So he just gets his ass whooped. And it's like really surprising for a movie called Taxi Hunter about a dude killing cabbies that he doesn't kill one of them.
Yeah, and you also, when him with that experience is where you see give him a training montage, he gets a weapon and all that, but he never becomes that good. The fights are sloppy, but they look good. It works well. But the thing about the action when you see fast-moving images is that you can barely see anything in this movie. And yeah, and we're gonna get into it right now, and that is the picture quality in this film. I mean, I noticed it right away when I 6 minutes in, and I'm actually like, am I bugging? Or this thing doesn't, something looks off in this film, like Crush Blacks, because we first saw it through, through Discord, you can share films. You can share your screen. So Peter was thinking like, hey, it's probably because of the screen. I'm like, no, it looks like that. So he eventually got the disc, and when you finally got to see it, what was the first thing you told me?
It looks like an upscale. In all honesty, I mean, it's obviously sharper than DVDs, but like, it's pretty average, I'll say.
Yeah, but to be fair, this is not 88 Films' fault.
No.
This is not. There's something with Media Asia. Other labels, I don't know what's up with Media Asia. I don't think they let nobody touch their releases. I mean, just read the booklet of Inferno First from Criterion. Criterion was like, man, that's them, not us. We didn't have nothing to do with this.
And as you told me, or at least put in my head, you're like, I think this is the DVD master. So we went and looked at the DVD, and other than like some color differences, I mean, the DVD looks remarkably the same.
Right. And we're going to touch upon that, once we wrap this video up. So yeah, because there's a segment where, like I said, when he's rolling up the window, one of the cabbies, to hurt him, you can't see it. You can't see it. I'm like, this thing is dark, and Pete, you have pictures set up, right?
Yeah, I have some pictures set up over here. Let's get right into them. So on this is relatively early in the movie, but Michael Wong's trying to hail a cab, and as you can see on the Blu-ray, it's decently bright, but when you flash over to the DVD, other than being unmatted, relatively looks the same. I don't really know what else to say about it. Like, obviously the clarity's not there, and there's more grain on the Blu-ray, but
yeah.
Even in this next shot, this is earlier in the film when they're doing the heist at the beginning. So you can see on the Blu-ray, the red's okay, it pops relatively well, and I guess the background details are strange. There's a halo on that dude running in the middle of the frame there. When you go to the DVD, that same halo is still there, and the colors are pretty much the same. Our last shot too here from way later in the film, it's in the dark cab, and on the Blu-ray, as you could see, Montat's face is barely noticeable, and Anthony Wong's hair just looks like a black helmet. Then going to the DVD, other than it being smoother, maybe they put some DNR on it, again, it's just kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed when it hits you, it's in the beginning of the film, when it's sitting down in his office, when they're talking about the whole deal and stuff, the guy's head looks like a helmet. I'm like, it's just black. It's just
there's
black.
Practically no detail in it.
Yeah, again, this is not 88 Films deal. I mean, this release is another one, just like Magic Cop. Skinny case, no book, so we don't know who did it, what, when, where, and why.
Yeah,
I have to do that. That in there.
Our assumption is that it's the same DVD era master of it.
Overall, what do you think of this film? What do you think overall? Do you recommend it?
Yeah, I do think it's good. When we first watched it, I was like, I feel like there's some cultural context I'm missing. And as I listened to Frank Chang's commentary, he was saying how it was a general perception at the time that Hong Kong cabbies were pretty rude. And through some research I did, in 82, there's a cab driver that did a string of killings over 7 months, and there was a big cab driver strike in 84 in Hong Kong. So there's maybe some cultural context there, but, even keeping that in mind, I just kind of feel like the film it's missing something. It's maybe too all over the place and doesn't hone in enough on the aspects that work.
Right. I feel like, and before we started recording, I was mentioning, I feel like this film was missing some meat. And I remember I told you I saw this with my girl, and she didn't like the film. She said, like, how you gonna have a film that this person went through this? Everybody is pushing him to the edge, and he didn't go to the edge. I expected some crazy ultra violence going on. Like, you're gonna make him pay, make an example. And you didn't, and she didn't get that. And I think she's right about that aspect. I wish it pushed a little bit further with the violence. Especially people are misinterpreting this to be a category 3 film.
Yeah, as a category 3 film, I was like, what the hell is so deranged about this? Like, usually those are equivalent to an R or NC-17.
Right, and just to be clear, folks, category 3 is not a genre. I still see that confusion all over Twitter, online. It's a rating system. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So, Election from Johnny Toe is a category 3 film. Yes.
Yes.
So it's not like ultra boobs and people being chopped up. I don't know how that happened. I blame the Brits for that. I blame y'all on that one. But yeah, like they didn't take it far enough. Overall, if I had the DVD of this film, let's say I bought it like in a video store back in the day, and I heard this was coming out, I would not double it. I would not upgrade this movie.
Yeah. I agree with that, but at the same time, like if you're trying to look for the DVD now, it's pretty much the same price as this Blu-ray, and this has a commentary track and some special features on there, so it's definitely not a bad release.
I'll put it like this. I'm glad I own it. I'm glad because this was the first time watching for both of us. And we were entertained. We were definitely entertained. It's a cool flick. It's like great, awesome, like, yo, you need to watch this. But I believe that it wasn't for the way it was misadvertised. It wouldn't bother me as much.
Yeah, I think, and there's some comparisons to Falling Down, which are superficial at best. So I would try to not even think of that movie while watching this.
Right, definitely. But if you're an Anthony Wong fan and you're ready to consider this, you're gonna like it. It's a cool film. It's a good film, and you already own the DVD. Only get this if you're a fan. It's still not a bad purchase, but me personally, if I had the DVD, I would not double dip.
Yeah, I wouldn't see the reason to double dip. But again, like we're going to keep emphasizing, it's really not a bad release. I mean, the slipcover is nice, and the special features and whatever make the disc.
Definitely cool, man. So definitely, man. So we're going to wrap this up. And as always, like, share, subscribe, and until next one, peace.